Order in the court. Judge Tundra Tactical is back on the bench, and we're about to lay down the law. Today on Tundra Tactical, we're shining the spotlight on the leading ladies of Hollywood, delving into the real celebrity firearms owners. Despite Tinseltown's hostility to the Second Amendment, a surprising number of America's most renowned female entertainers are bona fide gun owners. So sit back, brace yourself for a gavel of judgment, and let's start the show.
God help us all.
Stepping up first on our list of gun-savvy female celebrities is none other than Laura Prepon. You may remember her as the girl next door from That 70s Show or the tough-talking inmate from Orange is the New Black. The intensity she brings to her roles isn't just reserved for the screen, telling the press, "I love the energy you feel when you shoot." Prepon has discussed her ownership of America's best rifle, the versatile, functional, and ever-popular AR-15. Now, we don't get a ton of detail about her setup, but given that she first mentioned owning an AR all the way back in, holy cow, 2000, I'm gonna guess she was rocking a Bushmaster. Actually, wait a second, can I say Bushmaster on YouTube? My fantasy is she was rocking a Bushmaster with an OG carry handle and a 4X optic. As if Prepon couldn't get more cool, she goes on to say that some of her Hollywood friends get a little bit freaked out by it, but I am so into guns. Beyond her enthusiasm for firearms, Prepon is also a hardcore gamer into Halo and other shooters. When it comes to movies, she knocks it out of the park with her favorite film, the iconic sci-fi action movie Predator. You gotta love a woman who enjoys fine cinema and the art of alien hunting.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Folks, we ain't got time to bleed, but we do have time to render judgment. Laura, for answering the question, what are the best things in life? You said an AR-15 on your back, the Covenant crushed beneath Master Chief's feet, and getting to the chopper. Combined with your love of retro ARs, we judge you the new Red Sonja and mandate you must play the iconic red-headed warrior in the inevitable Hollywood reboot. Arnold will, of course, reprise his role because Hollywood doesn't see the problem with a 3-decade age gap. Oof. Hey, one thing that'll never make you go oof though is our sponsors. Check them out.
So you bought some nods and now you're ready to rock, right? You knew you needed training to run that rifle like a Chad, so why should night vision be any different? TNVC.com is your source for the night fighter training you need to be effective.
New for 2023 is the Springfield Echelon. The striker-fired polymer frame pistol features Springfield's new variable interface system for mounting multiple optic footprints and the serialized cog fire control for inserting into multiple frames. Find out more at springfield-armory.com.
And by Vault Pro, proudly manufacturing the finest American-made safes, vault doors, safe rooms, and storm shelters. When you buy from Vault Pro, your safety, security, and privacy is their only priority. Vault Pro has never and will never release your information to another party, so click the Vault Pro link down in the doobly-doo. One of the highest earning actresses in Hollywood, Jennifer Lawrence, thank you very much, I'll have another, made waves when she was confronted by animal rights group PETA after the Hunger Games depicted a squirrel being skinned and eaten. Now, a lot of Hollywood types would have just rolled over, issuing an apology written by a soulless movie studio PR hack. John Cena, excuse me, I had a cough there. J-Law went a bit of a different route though. During an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, she proudly declared, "Screw PETA. How refreshing when somebody stands up to an organization that euthanizes more dogs than the ATF at the Westminster Kennel Club." The comment delighted the flannel and deer scent crowd, but J-Law is the first to admit that she's not really a hunter. Instead, her ownership of firearms is much more personal after a scary experience and generally being uncomfortable with the lack of privacy that comes with fame. According to J-Law, when she bought her home, she got a big dog and a shotgun. J-Law, it is time to face the judge. We judge you, America's shorty with a shotty, and would remind you of the immortal words of Clint Smith.
Pistols put holes in people. Rifles put holes through people. Shotguns at the right range with the right load will physically remove a chunk of shit off your opponent and throw that shit on the floor.
Call me. Eleanor Roosevelt, the first lady to the 32nd president Franklin D. Roosevelt, was a writer, an activist, and a lecturer who frequently drove all across the country during and after her husband's presidency. This very independent woman has one of the best quotes about a military branch ever, famously saying of the U.S. Marines, "The Marines I've seen around the world have the cleanest bodies, the filthiest minds, the highest morale, and the lowest morals of any group of animals I have ever seen. Thank God for the U.S. Marines." All right, you Marines in the back, just settle down. It was just your birthday this month, so I decided to throw you a crayon. Let's not let it go to our wide-mouthed glass cylindrical container heads, all right?
That's a dang it.
Mrs. Roosevelt was adamant about driving herself to her speaking engagements without security, even after her husband survived an assassination attempt in 1933. Worried about the First Lady's safety, the director of the Secret Service offered her a compromise, a revolver of her own to carry, and training. Eleanor happily accepted and carried it everywhere. She later told a reporter, "If the necessity arose, I do know how to use a pistol." Now, women carrying firearms for self-defense was very unusual for the time period, but Eleanor, a self-described fairly good shot, carried even after FDR died, and she moved back to New York because of the numerous death threats. Yikes. It's time for judgment, and Eleanor, you did some amazing things in your life, but your biggest miracle was getting the state of New York to issue a concealed carry license. For that, we judge you the miracle worker and wish you happy shooting on that pistol range in the sky. Dolly Parton doesn't just carry tunes, an ample interest in charity work, and a charming personality. Nope, she packs heat too. The Queen of Country once dished to Playboy magazine that she never traveled without a gun, and still don't. And she was not kidding. Let's take it back to a time in New York City when she'd made her first big splash as a celebrity. Parton found herself and a friend harassed on the street by a man. The Southern Belle, cool as a cucumber, whipped out her pistol faster than you can say Jolene and gave the guy a choice: back off or learn to sing soprano. Dolly grew up with firearms and credits her dad with showing her how to handle them safely and turning her into a crack shot. Those lessons with dad seemed to pay off, making sure the country music legend never had to depend on anybody else for protection. Now, this is our second woman on this list who needed a .38 in New York City to defend herself. In the business, we call that trending data. But I digress. It is time for judgment. Dolly, you're a pretty big deal. Some would say two big deals, but it's your willingness to expand the soprano section of the local prison choir that leads us to call you the boss. We will inform Mr. Springsteen that he is to turn over the keys to New York and New Jersey promptly. Demi Moore, a renowned actress, has demonstrated an affinity for firearms, both in her professional roles and in her personal life. This interest was highlighted when her ex-husband, Ashton Kutcher, shared a photo on the Elon Musk money burning machine, formerly known as Twitter, of Moore skillfully firing an AR-15 rifle and machine guns at a gun range. The accompanying message from her ex said, "This is why we don't mess with Mrs. Kutcher." While Moore and Kutcher's marriage lasted about as long as discounted rail whiskey and a pack of 100 Trojans during Fleet Week, the pics did show Moore enjoying shooting. Demi Moore's proficiency with firearms stems from her acting roles and a personal interest. Firearms were a key element in her marriage to her ex-hubby. Moore and Kutcher each purchased pistols together. Moore chose a Glock, while Kutcher opted for a Springfield. Hey Kutch, thanks for supporting today's sponsor. All right, enough commerce. It is time for judgment. To me, when Brad and Angelina got married, they each bought each other custom pistols made by famed motorcycle builder Jesse James. You and Kelso opted for an off-the-shelf Glock. We judge you and need to treat yourself, girl. Go out there and get something special just for you. If you need help picking something out, just give me a call. I'm sure the missus wouldn't mind at all. Country music star Miranda Lambert admits to packing heat. She says, "I carry a weapon. I got a death threat a few years ago and it really scared me, but I don't want bodyguards. I am my own security," she told Self magazine. Lambert grew up around guns and is an avid hunter, once boasting that she had all the important things she needed for hunting: a bow, camo, binoculars, a pink gup, and lip gloss. I don't have any of those things, so I guess I must be lacking.
Son of
The daughter of a police officer, she learned early on what a gun is used for and how to use a gun. And get this, she even acquired her concealed carry permit, shockingly, at the age of 17. Now, Lambert is coy about what her exact CCW is, but she's not shy about supporting gun owner rights, even rocking a pair of pricey stiletto shoes with small guns on them during the Country Music Awards and repeatedly saying she will never give up her guns. Miranda, it is time to face the hammer of judgment for being the real deal from Texas, a skilled hunter, and a world-famous singer. Getting your CCW at 17, we judge you and need to slow down. Stop being such an overachiever and let the rest of us catch up. Unfortunately, I'm never going to do enough cardio to catch ya. That's a bummer. Now, if you hit your teen years in the early 2000s, or if you're one of the 5 Americans still rocking a Disney Plus subscription after watching The Marvels, then our next famous female firearms aficionado is just for you. Try saying that 10 times fast. You guessed it, it's Hilary Duff. Yep, the darling of Disney Channel's yesteryears traded in her silver tiara a few years back for a tactical peanut butter Tavor X95 and some hot brass. Showing off her new firearms hobby, Lizzie McGuire posted a picture of her target practice with Ozzy Osbourne's son. It's not every day you see a Disney darling sending it downrange instead of talking to woodland creatures or shacking up with 7 single dudes. But Hilary's first entry into the gun world started a year earlier, all the way back in 2015, when she purchased a Toyota 9mm. Is that right? Oh, a Glock 9. Okay, that's basically the same thing then. All right, folks, let's not meddle about. I've got some important TV watching to do and scotch to consume. So, Hilary, we judge you. In the words of Lizzie McGuire, your Glock could get a badge in basic and boring. So we order you to reboot your firearms franchise and get some guns that don't remind us of basic cable. Jeri Ryan, known for her role in Star Trek Voyager as the reformed Borg 7 of 9, whose uniform was a skin-tight jumpsuit for reasons, very important plot-driven reasons, is also known for her role in the cult classic Dark Skies. She loves shooting firearms, a skill she attributes not to her army brat upbringing, but to her time on Dark Skies. In an interview with Bikini Magazine, and yes, there is a Bikini Magazine, but I only read it for the articles, Ryan says her role in Dark Skies truly ignited her passion for shooting. I love it. I love shooting all the guns, she says, the M16s and the 45s. Huh. Who knew? Jeri Ryan's a FUD. But yeah, I still wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. Ryan expressed her disappointment with the phasers used on Star Trek, saying, "I hate the phasers," noting their anticlimactic nature and a lack of recoil. In her first episode with a phaser rifle, the director had to stop her mid-scene, telling her to stop acting like the phasers had kick. But she begged the director to let her pretend there's a little kickback. I guess it just wasn't to be, though. Ryan's passion for guns is well documented, saying, "Sorry, I get a little excited when I talk about firearms." Hey, so do I, Jeri. So do I. Her experience showcases a unique blend of Hollywood and real-world shooting, setting her apart from the world of sci-fi acting. Okay, crew, it is time to beam up for judgment, and I'm sorry, folks. This one's gonna be a rough one, because it seems like recently, Ryan took a trip into the mirror universe. You know, the one where you can tell it's evil because everybody has an awful mustache and a beard? Oh, wait. The version of Ryan that came back recently posted on social media calling for more gun control. Jeri, we judge time travel is your only hope. We must go back in time, grab some whales for whatever reason, and bring back the Jeri who loved guns, whose career was going great. Subscribe.